Hello, beloved. It's me, Robin. Robin Hallett, intuitive healer and light sparkler at robinhallett.com. And this is Tea with Robin. On today's episode, I've got a special guest, a special treat, a visit from number one husband. We're talking about sacred relationship in times like these. So much to say. Not sure we said it all, but it's pretty amazing. I hope you love it. Come grab a cup of yum yum and meet us here. Hello, beautiful. It's me, Robin, and welcome back to the podcast Tea with Robin. This is episode 104. 104. Friends, right at the beginning, I want to say a special thank you. Special thank you. Thank you so much for your kindness and your love. From last episode, Be a Friend to Your Own Heart, I shared some of my own process lately, my emotional stuff. I had a few little breakthroughs and breakdowns on the episode, and I so appreciate your love and your support. Thank you. I am doing so much brighter and better, feeling so much happier in my heart, so much easier in my spirit this week. And I love knowing that what I share was helpful to you as well. So just wanted to say thank you. And I'm recording today in the Pillow Fort, and I have a special guest along with me. Special guest. Hello, special guest.
Is everybody supposed to guess?
No.
It's like to tell the truth, or what's my line? No. It's me, Jeff.
It's me, Jeff. It's number one husband, Jeffrey.
Hello. Thanks for having me in the Pillow Fort.
Thanks
Beautiful,
for coming
Robbie.
back. I can tell you kind of like it in here because last night you had the Zoom call with your siblings.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Here from the Pillow Fort.
Yeah, the Pillow Fort is very fun. So we're here recording. We've been sitting here just thinking about what do we want to share. We thought, I got the math totally wrong because I said we should record when it's double the amount of episodes, another 62. I think we did episode 62 together, Sacred Relationship. And I said to you the other day, 104 is coming up, and it's like halfway point. How do you say that? But I got the math totally wrong because that would have been episode 52. So
right.
Here we are.
The important thing is you have the math right now, and we're here.
Yes. So welcome back to the podcast 104 with number one husband. And, we thought we would say hi. Come together, share an episode again on sacred relationship. Let's start the way we always do. First of all, to our friends.
How is the weather in your heart?
How have you been? How are you doing?
Are you being kind to yourself?
Are you being gentle?
Do you wake up in the morning and hug yourself?
Yeah. Do you set an intention for the day?
Are you being really kind and aware and awake and just being good to yourself?
Yeah, patient.
You come first.
Patient with your needs, patient with your feelings. Yeah, I hope so. We hope so, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, we do really, really wish that for you and hope that's your practice.
We think about it a lot because we try to do that practice every morning. We try to wake up, hug ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we hug each other.
Yeah.
Then coffee.
Yeah, then usually coffee.
That is the correct sequence of events.
That is the correct sequence of events, yes. So we hope the weather in your heart is good.
Yeah.
Over here, it's a beautiful day. We're recording on a Saturday in the Pillow Fort. The sun is shining. The leaves are blowing in the wind, and it's making all these really pretty little shadows through the healing room, the Pillow Fort. I'm still trying to get used to that. But look at these rainbow sparkles coming off of the crystal and the sunlight, and It's so beautiful in here.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. So,
It's a great space.
yeah. Happy day. Thanks for agreeing to come here and hold space with me. Yeah.
And I really like the pillow fort. I think...
Yeah. First, we need to have some tea
Oh, yes. That'll be coming up.
before we get too far into our conversation.
I brought some.
Okay. What did you bring?
I'm not sure. I made it 5 minutes ago. I grabbed a bag. I'll let you know in a moment. Oh, I think it's mint.
It says refreshment right on the tag.
Oh, that's a giveaway.
Yeah. I have...
It's no longer going to be a surprise.
I have a lovely cup of peppermint black tea, iced tea that I made, and let's cheers. First of all, I'd like to cheers you for always being a fun, play-along guy, go with the flow, and always helping bring patience and calm to the mix. And what?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. And to you, my friend, listening, thanks for being here for all these episodes. Cheers to you and a beautiful day. Did we get
Cheers.
them all?
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
And I can confirm that is mint.
That is good. Mine has mint, too, so it's like mint,
So
mint.
we are the mints.
Yeah, mint, mint, mint.
Let's rejoice
Let us rejoice.
and be glad in mints.
So, so friends, the last time we were all together, Jeff and I, on this podcast, it was episode 62. We called it Sacred Relationship. We might just call this one the same again. Let us pause for the slug bug to make its exit. That's one thing I have noticed is the street noise is a bit louder here. And there's a bunch of kids who just got their license and all they do is drive around.
Yeah.
And sometimes they love the raceway here. So it's kind of cute. I remember doing that too. Actually, I was a kid once.
I never was.
I didn't get my license till I was 18 though, because somebody had a little trouble passing the parallel parking in driver's ed and during the exam. So,
Yeah. Oh.
yeah,
I would have given you one anyway, just because you're cute.
that's the problem with you. Some
I
people
guess.
should not be driving.
Yeah.
Not me though.
No.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
a good driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anywho, I digress. So, last time we were together, 62, we recorded up, do you remember this? Up at the cabin
I do.
in Wisconsin
Yeah.
on the lake, and we talked about things in our relationship, what it's been like being married this long. Jeff and I are coming up on 20 years married, but we've been together longer than that, another 5 to 7 years, give or take.
Yeah.
Somewhere
It's a
in there.
math thing
Yeah,
again.
it's a math thing again, my friends.
62 or 52 years.
If we
something.
weren't married in 2000, I would not be able to accurately tell you. Oh, were we married in 2000?
We did. We were. And
Wait.
that was it.
So we're in 20. Oh yeah, 20 years. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
God, have I been saying the wrong number of years too? I'm part, like intergalactic cosmonaut.
That's it.
Well, in my defense,
Yes.
I always worry I sound stupid. But
No.
the thing is, I'm on other levels. I'm not thinking about the math.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Well,
All right.
and not only does it not matter, but if you read enough,
No.
like
Help.
I
Jesus.
read books on relativity and
Yeah.
quantum,
Yeah.
and if you read that stuff,
Yeah.
quantum physics and all that stuff,
None of
the
it's
numbers
real.
that we're used to in the Newtonian
Yeah.
world doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All
and it's
right.
cute.
So
No.
the last time we were together, we recorded at the cabin.
Yeah.
We talked about you having come through bladder cancer
Yeah.
and that whole experience. I really recommend you go back and listen. It sounded a little funny because we were in a tiny cabin and we didn't have the microphone with us. Now hopefully this will sound better. We talked about, wow, we have really been practicing taking time off for ourselves. I remember the big focus of was like learning how to take a vacation and not be afraid of spending the money, being away from home, learning, yes, I can still work and be away, and it's all right. It's okay to take life at a slower pace. Little did we know
How
Is
much
that-
change? Yeah.
how much changed, because that was in October, and by February, just 5 months later, We would be in the middle of a pandemic, the beginning of a pandemic.
Right.
In the States anyway. How about that?
I had a lot of stress even at that time, which I may not have told you about.
Yeah. He's
Because
forever holding out on me,
I hold
my
out.
friends.
I had stress at that time because we were talking about, and we had actually made plans to go to Italy for a month.
Yeah.
And I had stress about being away from home that long, our home, because a home needs somebody to look after it a little bit every now and then.
Yeah.
And especially in the dead of winter in Chicago. So I worried about frozen pipes and things like that. I worried about being away from my clients and that they would stop loving me. And I had stress just about you and me just being alone for 30 days or something like that.
Wait, what?
Well, a little bit. Being away from friends. And yeah. So I had all that going on.
I don't know what this means.
And it all turned out.
He just gave me
good.
a secret signal. I'm totally. What does it mean?
You have to interpret.
This means drag it out.
Go with the flow.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like improv. What you learn in improv is you never say, no.
I'm not negating. I'm saying I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Am I not allowed to be surprised?
You're surprised. Yeah.
That you were afraid to be alone with me?
No, that's not what I
31
meant.
days?
No.
I can't believe that.
That's not what I meant.
All right. Say it again.
Well, because we were going to be in a country by ourselves
alone
for 30 days.
Hi. Okay. So
without
same
our friends
thing.
and stuff, would we get on each other's nerves
Without
after
our
being gone
friends.
that long?
Yeah. Okay.
And also, in my head, I was thinking, I'll tell you this. You may not have heard this before. This is what comes out when the mic goes on.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking was, after 3 weeks, I might get tired. I might think that's enough. Let's go home.
Of me, you might get
No,
tired.
not of you. But I just will have thought, that's enough of Italy. 3 weeks, done.
Had it.
Had it.
And that was our agreement, though. If either one of us wants to go home.
Yes.
Because it was a long time.
Yeah.
I've never been away that long
We've
before.
never done anything like that before. It was quite bold for us. Yeah.
I did think, like, you read about people who are entrepreneurial. We've never called ourselves entrepreneurs, but work for themselves, self-employed. And you think, it would be so nice to go away and travel and work, but not for me. I don't know how I could do that. We made it work. That was big.
That was huge.
But the agreement was, if it's too scary or too hard or too stressy or whatever it is, we could come home.
Yes.
But the point is, we did great.
We did great. We did super great.
We did great. And also, how fascinating. We had no idea that upon our return, COVID would begin.
Yeah.
No idea. No clue.
No, of course not.
You know?
There was no way to know.
Building up to leaving for Italy, it was all about Italy. People say to us still, I can still remember, Italy, all your stories, if you like my Instagram stories, all your daily photos. And it was all about the build-up and then all about being there. And we had no idea what was going to happen upon our return. And so much more, like all the things that happened to people we were connected to at the time. And just, we have never even heard from our landlord again. And the truth is, we don't know if he's okay or not.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't know. Like, we were in touch a little bit, and then we just never heard from him again. Like, he never responded again. And it was weird, because he was sick the day we got there.
Yeah.
And then we were both sick for about a week.
Yes. And I haven't been sick in...
Neither of us, since we've been home or anything.
We haven't had a cold or...
Nothing.
Well, I was going to say I haven't had a cold or the flu in years.
Years and years and years.
And then we were in Italy, and I was sick for about 3 days.
Yeah.
And then it went away.
Yeah.
But I hadn't been sick in so long, so...
I was sick for about a week, laying in bed, fevers. It would come and it would go. So, but I remember that. The first day getting the keys to our apartment, and Deirdre and the kids were there, the girls, our kids came with us for the first week, and I went to put my hand out to the landlord, and Deirdre yanked me by the arm. Don't shake his hand. Like there was something she knew.
She must have.
She sensed it.
Yeah.
My arm hurt for like the rest of the afternoon. And he was really sick. But
yeah,
nobody else the kids didn't get sick or anything. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But the point was we had no idea. Yeah, we came home. Do you remember the Science Journal was just starting to talk about China?
Yes.
And a certain kind of flu? We had no idea.
Yeah.
Our friend Lisa texted us somewhere around February, mid-February, and said, wow, you got out of Assisi. Spirit had your back. You guys should see what's going on there. I was like, what's going on there? She was sending me articles about COVID in the grass in Venice. People, they're finding like evidence of whatever. And I thought, oh my goodness,
yeah,
I have no idea.
I think that's when we first started seeing pictures of people spraying down the steps to all the churches and things like that.
Yeah. So that was our,
Yeah. But that was, the trip, the whole lead up to the trip, and even from a little bit before when we went to Wisconsin, so a little bit older than a year ago, I had really been practicing on letting go, because I can be kind of uptight. I think everybody can, I can be uptight about certain things, like how are we going to afford something? What are we committing to? And so and when we talked about this trip, I could have thought of 1,000 reasons why we couldn't go. Mm-hmm. And I was really practicing on letting go and trusting and thinking, I want to have fun with you. And I don't want to wait till we're 70.
No way.
And having gone through the cancer thing makes me think differently. Not to be morbid, but I would think, I don't know if I'll get to 70. And you can say that about any time. You could walk outside and get hit by a bus or whatever.
And feel free to be morbid here. This is we're talking about real stuff. So please be, real.
So I really practiced letting go and trusting that we together would be great.
Yeah.
And trusting that whatever place, because you were kind of in charge of picking the place where we would stay, and you picked the best spot. And I had stress about it. Is that the right spot? Are we doing the right thing? Again, confronting all those blocks that I had.
Yeah.
And just thinking, Jeff, just let it go.
Wow.
Let it go. Robin can take care of it. She'll do it. It'll be fine. And even if it isn't fine, we'll be together, and it'll be an adventure. And we're in an adventure together, and we do great together. And the whole trip was full of times like that, from when we left O'Hare and flew to Philadelphia, and there was some stress because the weather was bad.
Yeah. And
we didn't know if we'd get on that flight to Rome. And things just kind of worked out. And I thought, well, we're together, so who cares? However it turns out, if we have to spend a night in Philadelphia and miss Rome or whatever. But things fell together. They got us a flight. We got to Rome just in time. And the trip just had event after event like that, where I really practiced letting go and just thinking, Robbie and I are together. That's all that counts.
Yeah.
And this is great. And then the kids came, and being stressed about that and letting that go. So it was really big for me as far as our relationship. And we spent 31 days there. I think it was 31 days. And it was great. And then we got home and we went into quarantine, and it's still been great.
Yeah.
So if ever there's a ship leaving the planet and going somewhere else where we've got to be on there for years together, I think we're good. Will you go with me?
I will go with you in a heartbeat. It's really amazing. I have so many things I want to say back. Can I respond to any of the stuff you said? Or
See,
okay,
that's Italian.
I mean, you've got us You've got us already taking a ship off the planet.
Yeah.
So can I still
like
talk
that
about
movie Passengers.
I love. Oh,
Such a good movie.
I still want to know, did they have babies, and who made the roosters and the grass and all that, and why Andy Garcia at the end? Okay. All right. That's another time.
Yes.
You know, I sometimes look back at my time and remember the meltdowns. You're talking about, you know, you're letting go. So I think for anybody out there listening, my friends who talk to me about how they're too controlling and they want to let go of control, and, you know, think about yourself as you're listening to this. How does this relate to you and your life? Because, you know, a lot of us are controlling because we're scared. And what I'm hearing you talk about is you want to live in adventure, you want to live in the moment, and also there's this fear and this control and this these real issues. How will I make money? How will I survive? What will we do if it's terrible? What will we do? Is the apartment nice? Is this nice? You know, and ultimately you realize, I give up, I surrender control. Because why? Your freedom, your excitement mattered more to you, or the joy of being together, or you just, how did you do that? That's what I want to know. I think everybody will want to know. How did you manage to like figure out, I have all this fear, I have all this hesitancy. Maybe you don't want to call it fear, but
No, I think it was fear.
I have all this fear.
I think
Okay,
fear was
well.
the right word there, yeah.
I have all this fear, and how did you get yourself over that? Or through that? What was the thing?
Well, I don't really recommend it for anybody, but having had cancer was a big deal. It had a lot to do with that, and coming through that and just deciding life is precious and let's go have fun. You may recall I had gone through quite a few years where I really wasn't flying.
Yeah.
And when I say really wasn't, I wasn't.
He wasn't at all.
You either are or you're
You mean
not.
airplane-wise,
No,
yeah.
no airplane flying.
Not
for me.
since 9/11.
Yes.
He stopped flying then.
Stopped flying. I was terrified. I would think about it and get sweats practically.
Yeah.
And as we approached this trip, obviously we had a 9 or 10 hour flight.
Yep.
And I just thought, hey, I beat cancer. What do I care?
That's amazing.
Not what do I care, but I don't care.
No.
I'm going to live my life.
Yeah.
I'm going to do exciting things. And Robbie and I are going to be on the plane together. And if the plane goes down, we're going down together.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely fine.
You sure
I had
were.
no problem getting
You
on,
sure were.
being on the flight. It was totally,
That's the truth.
it was so freeing to do that. And that little things like, well, that's not a little thing, but there were also lots of little things leading up to it, like letting you pick the place, letting you kind of decide on the schedule, and just trusting that whatever comes up will come up, and deciding not to decide,
Yep. It's a big one.
and going with the flow, and believing that anything that comes up will handle.
Wow. This is gorgeous.
So there was a lot of it's hard to encapsulate it other than to tell people, well, here's one other thing that helped me. And I can't remember where I read this or if I just thought of it myself. I thought, if I'm going to write at the end of my life, if I'm going to write an autobiography,
Yeah.
I don't want to have 20 chapters where I'm afraid to fly
Wow.
and never do anything. I don't want to have chapters full of looking back and regretting that I didn't do things when I had a chance. And people, when I told them we were going for 30 days, they would say, why, you're not retired, or how can you do that now? Or, you know, all the things that people say on something like that. How can you afford that? It was more like, how can we not afford to do those things? You're going to write your book. Have some good stuff in it.
Have some beautiful things in it.
Beautiful things in it.
And that's, God, that is so good, honey. That's just one of those things where you realize, you know, if you're in this field of, I mean, you study the Stoics, you love philosophy, you read Shakespeare. To me, that's all sort of about awakening, the Tao, Tai Chi, all the things you're into. It's like this field you're in. It's sort of like awakening, or would you put a word to it? What are you about?
Yeah.
Would you say aliveness or awareness or awakening or the subtle,
probably
unseen?
awakening.
Yeah, awakening. Yeah. Because sometimes you'll say, I'm a scientist, but that's not really all-encompassing. That's one aspect.
Yeah,
but that's not really all-encompassing.
I'm a philosopher.
Yeah. So you've got this beautiful philosophy, and it's like, I want to deal with my fear. I still remember that from 9/11. We had 2 tickets to go to Europe, and you would not fly. We had already booked it.
Right.
So we didn't go. And the only time you flew in the last 20 years was when my dad died.
Yeah.
You agreed to fly one way and drive home.
And that was like an hour flight, maybe
Buffalo.
an hour and 20 minutes to Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
And I was white-knuckled and drinking as fast as I could.
I remember the little vodka, the bottles
Yeah.
and I was like, yes, whatever gets you through.
Yeah.
Whatever gets you through. That's why it's here. Let's go.
Yes.
Because we had to get there. Yeah. Yeah, so it's so amazing. One of the things I think is interesting when people are like, how can you afford that? Or how can you do that? Or you can't do that. You're not retired. It's like, I imagine around you, for whatever story you sit in, you listening, our friends here listening with us today, whatever field you believe exists around you, energy field, energetics, imagine a viscous, tight bubble. It's thick. I mean, you can kind of punch through it, but it's compressing against you. Am I saying that right? It's pulling in on you.
Yeah.
That's your belief system. And if you believe you can't, it's a very tight belief system, and it's a very tight energetic field. Your aura is tight, and the energy around you that you perceive is very tight. And this is where in healing, I don't know, is this interesting? I see people have really bad GI problems, stomach issues, hemorrhoids really bad, migraines really bad, issues with hearing, issues with vision. Think about it. It's like all the things that allow you to explore the world and explore beyond yourself. It's affected. So to make a decision like that, I'm going to go. I feel it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I just want to say, I don't know if you know how huge that is. And it was like that. You didn't heal it for 20 years. You healed it in an instant. You decided, this is how I want to feel.
Yeah.
And you did it. And that's last week I talked about in episode 103, the rules for decision. I was having a very tough week that week, and I decided, I'm going to record. You help me. Just record. And that was me doing the same thing, pushing beyond my control, my fearful story, expanding the boundaries on my energy, and practicing the rules for decision in A Course in Miracles, which in a nutshell is like, hey, how do you want to feel in your day, in your life, in your month, in your future, whatever you like, describe it, feel into it. It's a state of being. It's a state of flow. It's not like material stuff, It's not a dollar amount. It's I want to be free. You wanted to feel what? Just think about that. The decision you made to get yourself to Italy, get on a plane, be there as long as you did. What was the decision you made? The vibe.
The vibe was adventure.
Yeah. Like free or adventure, or if I keep going like this with my arms, like way out, like I wanna, right?
Yes, I always think of Bilbo Baggins Martin Freeman in the Hobbit movie, who's running, saying, we're going on an adventure. And I always think, wow, there's something about how excited he was at going on an adventure.
Yeah.
And there are little things like that would come into my sphere, and I think, yeah, that's how I want to be. I want to go on an adventure, go on adventures. And I got dragged into the cancer adventure and got through that, and it made me want to find good adventures.
That's beautiful. And I love that because, as I was saying, the rules for decision says decide how you want it to be.
Yeah.
And so you wanted it to be an adventure. And then it says, make no other decisions. That's when we say to you, friends listening, decide not to decide. That's what we're talking about. Make no other decisions. Hold this one in your heart about how you want it to be. I want to feel, most days I'm like, I want to feel easy. I want to feel peaceful. Make no other decisions. And this will be the day that's given to you. And sometimes it says, Robin, you just burped. I don't know if it comes through, but I like to say that sometimes. Friends, I may not edit that out. You're getting a little of the behind the scenes in front of the scenes. Yeah. Anyway.
Usually the post-production team takes care of that.
I am the post-production team, so
okay.
this will be easy today. But the thing that's so cool about it says, make no decisions on your own other than that original one, and stay open, because I may be tapping you. I may be giving you some nudges about things. And I think that is how Bilbo Baggins, or was it Bilbo?
Bilbo.
Yeah, Bilbo comes to you. Martin Freeman comes to you in your mind. That's it. Because this is a collaborative universe. It's always corresponding to your thoughts and your choices. So if you're somebody wanting to know, how do I give up control and give up my fear and give up my story that it has to be the way it always has been? Because, have you seen the world now? You have to make a new decision and then hold on to that. So when we say, again, decide not to decide, it means you got to remember what you originally chose. And when you feel controlling, you can't decide for your regime, your tight-assed regime on how things need to go. You have to let go. And I saw you do that again and again. And it happened for me as well. So me too, letting go of control. I started feeling a lot more. I started having a lot more experiences. And I had to let you in. I had to let you see me. I couldn't hide. So it's funny that you said 31 days or 30 days, I don't know. Would it be too much of us together?
Yeah.
What happened for me was giving up control. What that looked like was a lot of my emotional stuff that I was going through. I could not hide it away. And some of you who've been listening will remember my friend who moved to Italy. She was going through some really big stuff. Like, I just don't even know how to catch everybody up. But her experience did not go as planned. And it was really hard. The truth is sometimes things just do not work out like your mind is foreseeing it. And that's really what we're talking about. You have to give up control. So I remember having a lot of emotional breakdowns. We had a fantastic trip. I would go back in a heartbeat, but I had a lot I had to work through. And I felt like I couldn't hide it because I had nowhere to go, So I had to just let it be. And we had certain interactions with certain people that I just couldn't pretend I was fine. Can I say it like that or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would get annoyed or triggered or I just did not want to be in that conversation and I couldn't do anything about it. So I just had to give up control. And I started getting very, very real, letting it out, crying, being in the moment. And it was like the best thing ever. Did that all sound like a big secret? Or
No.
did I sound clear? Okay.
Yeah, no,
like
that's
I remember getting to the airport in Rome and they're like, "Oh, all your luggage is gone for maybe 1 week or 72 hours." And we were like, "Oh my God." And I started crying. Like I was so surprised by my behavior in a way. I was ashamed. I was surprised. I was like trying to hold it all in, and you just can't. So let it go. I had to let it go. And that was like the best thing ever, the beginning of my transformation, I would say.
And fortunately, we were together.
Yeah.
We offset each other in those moments just because we were together. And we helped each other.
We helped each other a lot. I remember one day you said to me, "Robin, you have to treat yourself. You're like a Marine." Remember this?
I do.
Marines, how did you, because I said, "Oh my God, like, it's hard. Sometimes you have unexpected issues that you didn't see coming." And that was me in Italy and my friend that I was going to stay with and be with. And we, like, it just, did not see it coming, did not expect it, did not, and everything was upside down. I mean, she has really been walking through fire herself. And so there was this one day I said, "I can't do it. I can't go there. Don't want to talk to her. I don't know what to do. It's just all so crazy, and you said to me,
I said, sometimes you have to decide to be a Marine and you run toward the sound of gunfire because that's where you're needed.
yeah.
Sometimes you do.
I thought you said you go into the fire. I always pictured it like a burning building, to be honest.
Well, that would be, I guess, if you were a firefighter.
That's why I never understood the analogy, but
Oh.
now you said gunfire, and now I get it. Ooh.
No, I think I may have said the firefight. You run toward the sound of the firefight
Yeah.
because that's where you're needed.
Yeah.
And you can't do it all the time, but when you can, it's it takes a certain amount of strength to do that and determination, and you did it.
Yeah, I did. What I learned through all of that is that whole, I have no control. The feelings are coming out. I have a lot of stuff happening. I did go and showed up. I did it. But I also learned, because like the stuff my friend was going through, like you can't even write it in a fiction novel. And somebody would say, "Nobody will believe that." That's what was happening for my friend. And it's continuing to happen,
Yeah.
So nobody would believe that in a movie. This is not believable. That was what was going on for her. So I was just trying to figure out how to show up and be there and get out of my own way, get out of being annoyed and triggered and selfish, and like this was supposed to be about us. And we ended up taking care of a lot of things that we weren't planning on. So it was a heavier time for me.
Yeah.
Am I losing
No.
my point here? Okay. So I too, with control, I want to show up and I want to be here. I believe there's a way to be at peace at the same time. The way it was to stop controlling the ride, to stop deciding what my friend needed to look like, what you needed to look like, what our visitors needed to look like. When I say look, I mean like the conversations, the behaviors, the actions, the tours, whatever we were doing. I let go. And it turned out to be a real gift. I got really back into my practice, my own daily practices, just more committed. Also to be myself and just to accept this is how I am. I'm like a little barometer. If stuff is going on, sometimes I'll have an emotional reaction before we know what's happening.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I've been like that with the trip, with COVID, with Black Lives Matter. It's like, I've always been that way where I know ahead of time what's coming. 9/11, it's so interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, that was quite coming off of the trip and then coming home.
Yeah, and then COVID
COVID hard on our heels practically from getting off the plane.
Yeah.
And we kind of we came out of 31 days of being together and went into 6 months of isolation practically and ongoing.
Yeah.
And our relationship has been holding us together even better, helping us deal with the stress,
Yeah.
I think.
We've been really flourishing, actually.
Yeah.
And some beautiful decisions have come out of it. What would you say if you had a gift that came out of COVID, just one thing right now that you could think of? What is there a gift? Is there something you learned or something you're like, wow, this changed me forever for the good? Or
Wow. Well, I think an appreciation for all the things that we can no longer do. I think that often happens when that's a typical reaction to something, when a lot of things are taken away.
Mm-hmm.
To suddenly have an appreciation for that. And I miss those things, but I also have an appreciation. I appreciate more the things that we can do.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed our house more this year. I've enjoyed the yard more than I ever have. Even picking the weeds has been fun. And so I think that's it, a shift to our closer relationship and just being together. How about you?
You know, I'm getting to know myself more, and I'm stepping over the threshold of my own fear around, you know, I really do want to do what I do every day. And that I mean healing and thinking about God and practicing, helping people. I want to do that all the time. That's really my only thing. And I've discovered in the last 6 months of COVID, which is so crazy to say 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
I just saw something in today's newspaper. So the end of August 2020, it said, you know, the suburbs might be having another resurge, and they're looking at stepping back some of the stuff they're doing again.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we've just had a bunch of the schools try and reopen, and it's just, you know, we have to learn to sit with our discomfort, because if we can't, we end up pushing the envelope on things that we have no control over, and we are not in control. And that's the thing about COVID. I think it's what it came to teach us, is we have to learn to sit and be with our discomfort, be with our emotions, be with what's not working, and just let it go, you know? So the greatest gift for me out of that is getting to know myself, that I don't need to do anything other than what I love. And what I love is this. And it's like, but I can do it in the way I want to do it. So we stopped seeing people at the house for healing sessions. And we've discussed it, and that's going to be a permanent thing. I mean, I doubt I will rent an office just to do healings because of the expense of that. It doesn't make sense. I think we're moving in a more virtual way. So that's one thing. This works better for me. I do better. I feel more connected to myself. It feels like the power is greater when I'm not in person with somebody. I think I've always known it, but I didn't want to acknowledge it. People in business and stuff have said you cannot do virtual, and the whole world is virtual now.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to say anything about that, but all the experts, even my own healer who was like, you can't do virtual healings.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
So quickly on, I remember thinking, wow, overnight, my healing sessions with me, it really slowed down, and it gave me this opportunity to realize I'm still going to do healing.
Right.
No matter what, because this is my thing. And I refuse to be afraid, and I refuse to be hemmed in by this. I'm not going to listen to my fear. I'm going to give to my practice. So I really see now being on my knees in a CC in that way, going through in my own way, the fire. I always looked at it as the fire, by the way, like an alchemical. You got to go in and let this thing burn away whatever you're saying, and you got to say it, and you got to, that's what I heard.
Interesting.
I never got why Marines did firefighting, but that's what worked for me.
Yeah.
And it made me fearless. What you said, you put something through me, and it made me fearless. So began doing morning magic like one of the first days of the shutdown in our town. So March, like March 18th or something. I thought I'm going to just start going live on Instagram every day until this is over, while we're home, while we're all home, while we're, nobody knows what to do. Somebody has to be willing to go into the fire and sit there and talk to people. And I started doing that. And, I have no rags to riches story for you around that. I just have to say it's an amazing thing. It has changed me. It has healed me. It has evolved us. It's evolved our lives. This morning magic, we're still doing it. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
So,
and that was a big change for us because we had kind of had a routine in the mornings, and now with the introduction of morning magic, we had to change that routine, and we picked up on that, and I don't know how much help I am, but I try not to get in the way.
You're
because it's your thing, and it's been so great.
You're a huge help. I mean, you're the one who helps me. I think I'm through all those next thresholds and hurdles where I'm like quitting every day. I'm too scared to go, too worried and all that, and all of you who listen and write to me. I mean, just there are people who are being helped by that, and that's everything to me, and I trust in that flow. A lot of us are wondering now, what are we going to do? How will we make it in the midst of all these awakenings and all these things, and Black Lives Matter, and just this week, more people have been murdered.
Yeah.
It is really like we're in a time where it is unprecedented. And what I would say, as somebody who's holding space, we're not done. So don't decide. Don't decide you know how it's going. Don't decide. We're not done. We're not done. Don't take your marshmallow out of the fire just yet, because it's not ready. There. There.
That's when I can chew over.
Yeah. Don't take the marshmallow out. It is not done cooking. Yeah. We're not ready. We're not done. We don't know. Trust we're going somewhere good. Something beautiful is happening.
Yeah. And
it's
helpful to have this group, the Love Posse. I think in times like these very difficult times we've been through, when you just don't know what to do, what to say, where to turn, you find your peeps, and that makes those groups that much more valuable.
Yeah.
A place where you can go and just be with like-minded people. It's really important to find those relationships. And you've built quite a following based on that.
I don't want to say that out loud.
Don't cut that out.
Okay. Yeah. I just, I think it's interesting, because today I talked about that, letting go of what you thought it was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And I had said this today. I always assumed it meant I was supposed to become like a famous author or a famous self-help person or a famous, and interestingly, I never longed for fame, and I don't have it still. And I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy that I'm still anonymous, pretty much. I'm really happy about that. And there was some pressure that I believed that was what I was supposed to be doing. And it wasn't until, I really started to look at that in myself and realize that's not ever what I wanted. It's not my personality. I mean, somebody who's like, I'm happy I don't do in-person sessions anymore, is not the one. Well, anyway, the point is, I'm just happy that there's a group who wants to come and talk about things and not just send each other funny memes of a cat making a face and then putting the caption with it like 21 days into quarantine and all I have is this
hairball.
Yeah, or something. I'm just glad that's not all we do. Believe me, I need my laughs too, but like this is the place where we can be together and talk about things. And like as I think about us, everybody is coming to their place of reckoning. And I've talked about Paul Selig and the guides. They talk about reckoning a lot. This is a time of reckoning where we're really starting to awaken and realize this is what I've cared about. This story or this offense or this hurt or this mistake in my 20s or this thing, we're having our reckoning. Or I've nourished relationships I'm not really interested in living anymore. I've been allowing myself to stay afraid that I never set the boundaries I needed, for example. We're all having these awakenings or these reckonings where we have to make the next step.
Yeah.
Make the next change. Make the next shift.
And let some old stuff go.
Let it go.
Old familiar.
Yeah.
And say goodbye.
And so really where you come to those places, I have this. I talked about this last week. I was feeling so stressed about the format and stuff for the podcast that I thought I'm just going to do the same thing again. You told me just go and do it different. And let's see. I don't know where we're going, but I'm still here. We're still here. We're going to keep going.
Good.
Yeah.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
And I'll be here rooting you on.
I'll be here rooting you on.
It's a good arrangement.
Yeah. Celebrating each other and a beautiful day. And do you have one piece of advice you would give our friends in the posse who are listening? Just being the dude who has done so many beautiful things for himself in all these areas. Anything you want to invite our friends to consider? Or
I would encourage everyone to realize that a lot of the things they think are a lot of their opinions about things. Now, let me go back. Here I'll quote Hamlet. Hamlet said, very simply, "There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." So things can happen, and you can decide whether to be upset about them or not, or be hurt or not. And I'm not saying it works all the time, but there are many times where it's really worth considering. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to me to be upset about this? Or can I just let it go and move on? And it's a really good practice. And it's really the truth. We can decide to not be annoyed. We can decide to dwell on the things that make us happy. We can decide that all the little snits that we get into are more energy just wasted. So let's decide when we get up in the morning and hug ourselves, let's decide it's going to be a smooth day, an easy day. And we can decide that it's all good. And we're here to live the lives we're here to live, not somebody else's life. We're here to live our lives. Whether you believe we signed up for this with some foreknowledge before we ever arrived on the planet or not, we're here in our skin with our propensities and weaknesses and strengths and quirks and adorable features, whatever. Our bodies, everything. This is our life. So lead it like it's yours. Don't run. You write your autobiography, write it for you. not somebody else's. There.
Wow. That was beautiful. That sounds like one of our evening talks. Maybe we should just leave it there.
Okay.
It's just, that is it. We came for an experience. We came for the experience of our own life. And how would it be to just decide, this is my life?
Yeah.
This
unique.
is.
Unique, like
Unique.
you always talk about.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
unique combination.
Yeah.
You're here living in that.
Yeah.
Don't try to be somebody else. And don't bemoan the fact that you're not somebody else.
Yeah.
I would like to be Jeff Bezos for about 15 minutes, though.
No way. No desire.
No?
I love, that is the, how did I heal this or that? I realize I just want to be real. Like that Robbie, oh God, what is that song? It's like, I just want to feel real love. Da, na, 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 na.
Oh, and then it
'Cause
goes.
I got da da da, da na 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 na.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you imitating the grocery store man at a CC? Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I figured that out. Like, I just want to be myself exactly as I am. That's my goal. And I can remember that, like, at 5 years old. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And how kooky is that to realize you go all this way around pretending and trying and resisting, and all along, there you were, yourself, in the life you're meant to be living. And the only thing is, you've made another decision. That's all.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Well, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my beautiful wifey.
I hope you'll come on in another incorrectly calculated so many episodes.
156. No, wait.
I hope it'll be before that. I have always been that way about math, too. It's kind of funny. Like,
It's okay.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I love you.
Can I
I'm
borrow
proud of you.
$50,000
Sure.
or $5,000?
Let me take out my checkbook. I love, a friend of ours sometimes sends a donation to the podcast and doesn't put the decimal in. So a $40
Yeah.
check comes as $4,000. And I always think,
Yeah.
that's my kind of math right there. All right, well, I don't have any nuggets. Let's stay with Jeff's nuggets. Oops. Wait, what did I just say? No.
You've got lots of nuggets every week.
I know, but I loved what you said. Live the life you're in. Be here. And only thinking makes it so. There's no
Yeah.
good or bad. It just is.
Yeah.
It just is. So you pick the sway of that, your vision. All right, well.
Thanks for having me
Thanks.
into the pillow fort.
You're welcome.
It was so fun. It's nice here.
I love it. And these are just the right pillows.
Yeah.
I'm glad I never threw this. This is one you've always not liked.
Oh,
and
my
I was
gosh.
like, finally, I can have my pillow in my pillow fort. I'm so glad I never threw it out. Do you want to hear a secret? I used to keep it covered with another cover so you wouldn't know.
Oh. I love your pillows.
I love you.
I'm glad you got a spot for them.
You love my pillows?
Yeah.
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 I love you. And thanks again. Thanks for all you do and for holding space and being awesome and inspiring and telling me things like go into the fire, which I guess I never understood, but I got the metaphor.
You took it.
I got it.
You took it and made
And I
it,
did it.
work your own way, which is great.
And that's the metaphor I need. I still remember that day. I was more scared than I've ever been. It's funny.
Yeah.
All right, well, give us a kiss, love.
Okay.
Well, everybody, I hope you loved this episode. What's with the eyes?
I'm fading out now while you wrap it up.
Aren't you going to say goodbye?
Oh,
No.
I don't just disappear into the evening.
Okay. All right, you guys. I guess we're going to disappear into the evening. It's Saturday night. We're probably going to order a pizza.
Probably.
And hit save on this episode and be all excited about it and leave the editing till tomorrow.
Yes.
And go have some fun. And we love you, don't we?
We do.
We love you. You're part of our posse. You're our friend and our family, and we wish you all the very best. And we'll see you. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Right? Yeah. Bye.
Life
Bye.
is very
Bye.
short.
Love y'all.
Let's make the
This has
very
been me,
most
Robin.
of it. You are a precious gem, and I love you. We are here to shine and shine bright. You are a gem, and I love you.
Are you just do-do-do-ding?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Goodbye, y'all. We'll play the real song now.
Life is precious, and you are a spark of the divine. So shine like you know it, rock it like you mean it, 'cause you really, really mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it. Don't let crispy people tell you that you aren't sparkly, 'cause you are, 'cause you are, 'cause you are. Thank you. I like that. I love it, honey. Thank you. Give me a kiss. Thanks.